Truth Seeker Learning here. Okay, today we're going to talk about system of equations. Now, a system of equations is simply two equations. And by rights, you could put them into y equals mx plus b format. And if you put them in a calculator and graph them, they would meet at a particular point. And that's the point that we want to find. Now, there's three ways to solve system of equations. And that is through graphing, which I can't show you on the computer, and then elimination, and then substitution. So today I'm going to do elimination. So elimination is when you literally eliminate one of the variables, okay, and then you solve for the other variable. So for instance, these two equations, x plus y equals 12, x minus y equals 4. And I need to eliminate either the x or the y. And the way to do it is to have them have the same number in front, so they have to have the same coefficient, different signs. Now for this one, it's already established, if you can see it here. We have a positive 1y and a negative 1y. So they're already opposites. So I can eliminate them, because a positive 1 and a negative 1 is nothing. And then I add these two x's, excuse me. Add these two x's, and I get 2x equals 16. And then I just solve algebraically. X is 8. Now I'm not done, because now I want to solve for y. So I go back to the equation, put in what I have, and solve for the other variable. X is 8 plus y equals 12. Then I go minus 8 minus 8. Y equals 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Y is 4, x is 8. So that means on a graph, this point, these two equations meet at this point. That is where they meet. If I was to graph it, that's where they would meet. All right, let's do another one. Let's do one where we have to multiply. Okay, let's look at this one. Now, the variables here are c and d, which really is x and y, so don't get hung up on variables. So I want to make them opposites. Now I have two choices. I could multiply the top, I could multiply the d by a 3 and make that a negative 6, or I can multiply the bottom by a positive 2, make that a positive 6. Or I could go the really easy way and just multiply the top of the bottom by a negative 1, because they're both positive. So let's do that. I'll multiply this by a negative 1. Okay? And then you have to multiply it by all three. Okay? All three expressions. So negative 1 times c is negative c. Negative 1 times negative 2d is positive 2d. Negative 1 times 14 is negative 14. C plus 3d equals 9. Negative c, positive c crosses out. It's eliminated because they're opposites. 3 and 2 is 5d. 14 and 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that's 5. Negative 5, actually. And then I just simply divide by 5 to solve for d. And negative 5 divided by 5 is negative 1. So d is negative 1. Now what's c? So now I go back to an original equation. I do not use any equations that I have created through multiplying. I go to original equations. And I can use the bottom one. I'll show you. C plus 3d equals 9. C plus 3 times negative 1 equals 9. C plus 3 times negative 1, well, that is negative 3 minus equals 9. And I do plus 3, plus 3. C equals 12. So C is 12 and D is negative 1. So this point, the point where they meet, is 12, negative 1. Okay? Now remember, you can stop the video when I write the problem up, try to solve it, then come back, see if you do it right. Do it again and again if you want, it's up to you. Let's do another one. 4x minus y equals 10, 2x plus 3y equals 12. All right. Now I have an easy choice and a harder choice, but both will get me the same thing. I can multiply this y by 3, and then that'll be a negative 3. That's like super easy. Or I can multiply this by, actually nothing. I can multiply that by a negative 2. Yeah, and that'll give me a negative 4. So it's up to me, whatever I want to do. I'm going to go with the 3, because that's easier. And I like my students to go the easy route, because if you go on a test, you want to do the easy route because you're on a timer, you know, you're being timed and you're in a hurry. So let's do that. 3 times 4 is 12x. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3y. 3 times 10 is 30. Then we bring down what we have. Get rid of, eliminate that. 14x equals 42. And then I divide. How many times does 14 go into 42? 3. So x is 3. Now I want to solve for y. So I'm going to take the bottom problem, the bottom equation I should say, and I'm going to put in the x. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 3y equals 12. Combine like terms, of course. 3y equals 6, because I subtracted 12 minus 6. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Y is 2. So the point where they meet is 3, 2. I hope you're getting this. Just watch what I do. I know I'm going a little fast, but the good thing about a video is you can stop it. So let me do one where I have to multiply by both. How about this one? 2x plus 3y equals 6. 3x plus 5y equals 15. Now, with this one, I have a choice. I can multiply this by a 3 and make it a 6. I can multiply this by a negative 2 and make it a negative 6. You know, the x's. Or I can multiply this by a 5 and make that a 15. And I can multiply that by a negative 3 and make it a negative 15. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to multiply I'm going to try to eliminate the x's. I'm going to multiply the top by negative 3 and this by a positive 2. How's that? All right? Let me change colors. So if I'll just do this, right? So you can see negative 3 times 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9y. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Then we do the bottom. 2 times 3 is 6x. Elimination. 2 times 5 is 10y. 2 times 15 is 30. Eliminate it. Boom. Now 10 and 19 is 10 and, excuse me, silly me. Negative 9 and positive 10 is a y, positive y, equals, and then we have to subtract, right, 30 and 18. So if we come over here, we go 30 and 18. 8 from 0, can't do it. Go over here, make that a 2, make that a 1. 8 from 10 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So it's 12. so y is 12. Now, let's go back and find x. Now remember I told you, you cannot use these equations. You have to use original equations that you did not touch. In either one, it doesn't matter. So I'll use the top. Two x plus 3 times 12 equals 6. Two x, blah, 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 2x plus, what's 3 times 12? 36 equals 6. Subtract 36, subtract 36. 2x equals 36 minus 6, negative, well, really, yeah, because it's negative 36 and 6. So the answer will be negative, so it's 30. And then divide by 2, divide by 2. X is negative 15. So the point where they met is negative 15, 12. Okay? And I'm just curious, just for my own satisfaction. Exactly. Exactly. So if I take, let me show you something. I'm talking to myself. You're wondering, what is this crazy guy doing? All right, so if I go, switch colors again. If I go to an original equation, right? Watch. And I take, let's say, 2x plus 3y. This is really the check. That's what this is. And I put in what I found. It should work out. Anyway, 2 times negative 15 is negative 30 plus 36. That's right, because 3 times 12 is 36. And then negative 30 plus 36 is 6. 6 equals 6. Bam. Success, it's done. Right? Now, of course, if I make a mistake in this video, well, you correct it. You know what? Making mistakes is how you learn. And that's not just in math, that's in a lot of things. We don't like to make mistakes because it's a pain in the neck and they're painful sometimes, but that's how we learn. I'm going to do one last one, I think, and then we'll call it a day. (5m) plus 3n equals 14. 2m plus n equals 6. Okay. So how can I solve this? Well, I think the easy way is just to multiply this by a negative 3. And that's what I'm going to do. I'll bring this down. 5m plus 3n equals 14. And then I distribute. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6m. Negative 3 times 1n is negative 3n. And then negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. Eliminate. 5 and negative 6 is negative m, which is really negative 1m. I'm going to do a video on positive negative numbers for the younger kids. I have not had a chance. I have to do that soon. Negative 18 and 14 is negative 4. Now, you might say, oh, you're done. No, you cannot have a negative variable. So you have to divide by what it is, which is negative 1. Get rid of the negative. M equals 4. Now I take the 4, try to find n. I'll go to the original guy. 5m plus 3n equals 14. 5 times 4 plus 3n equals 14. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3n equals 14. (14 minus 20 is 6, negative 6. So then you would do 3, n equals negative 2. So the point where they meet is negative 2, 4. That is like super sloppy. Let me write that over. Negative 2, 4. 5 times negative 2. Now let's see if I'm correct, because I'm detecting I made a mistake somewhere, because it's not coming out right when I put it in. Let's see if I'm correct. Let's go through it again. And this is a good lesson, because you have to check your work. So let's say I multiplied this, and I got a 6m. I got negative 3m, 6, 12, 18. I got rid of that. That would be negative 1. And negative 18 and 14 is negative 4. Negative 1, got rid of that. Negative is positive 4. Okay, good. Then, over here, positive 4. That's 20 plus 3 and negative 4. And then I did minus 20. Minus 20 is 6. Negative 6. And that's negative 2. And if I did the original here, 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8, right? If I do 2 times 4 is 8, minus 2, so 8 minus 2, 6. All right, so that is correct. So I double checked myself. All right, so I did it right. So I used this, and I got the right answer. All right, anyway, that's the end of it today. I hope this was helpful. These videos are by no means perfect, but they can help. So, and they're completely free for you to use. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you get a benefit out of them. And check out my website, truthseekerlearning.com. Have a good day.